Let me ask you, you ever been in a situation where you had a 700 credit score and you applied for a credit card or a loan and still got denied for credit? Yes, I understand how frustrating that can be. Actually, there is a reason for this. Most people are unaware that it's actually your credit profile is what creditors look at when they've determined whether they want to go ahead and approve you or deny you for credit. So in this video, you definitely want to check out how we're going to break down all of the things that goes into your credit profile and the factors that factors into it, so you'll be able to go ahead and not experience any more denials when you're applying for credit. So you definitely want to check out this video, stay all the way to the end, as we're going to talk about everything you need to know about your credit profile.
This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it, cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement.
What's going on, Blueprint Nation? Welcome to the Respect My Blueprint show. And today I am going to give you guys a great video talking about your credit profile. Yes, we're going to dive deep into something that a lot of people may not clearly understand or have a little misconception on when it comes in the world of credit. And that is talking about your credit profile. All right. So if we're talking about building your credit the right way, understanding this video is going to be truly important to be able to have a good grasp on your credit, especially if you're ready to go ahead and build and leverage your credit to be able to go ahead and get funding, unlock financial freedom, or whatever the case may be. This is definitely the video for you. Now, before we get into the whole nitty gritty and everything like that, okay, so I just want to ask you a couple of quick questions. All right. First of all, do you know what makes up your credit profile in the first place? Okay. And more importantly, do you know how to build it the right way? So these are two very important questions that we are going to answer in this video. So I definitely encourage you to stay throughout the entire video, as not only are we going to learn about the things that factors into our credit profile, but also how we're going to build it the right way as well too. First things first, your credit report is made up of several different sections, right? Now, we all understand how our credit score is the three-digit number that most creditors look at, as well as is what we think that creditors go by when it comes to approving us or denying us for credit. But that's necessarily not the case, okay? It's truly your credit profile, and your credit report is broken up into four separate sections that makes up your entire profile. Number one is your personal information section, which we're going to talk about. Number two, your account section, which has all of the accounts that is reporting and the trade lines that's reporting on your credit report. Third is any public information, such as there's really not too much public information that's put on this section unless it's bankruptcies or anything like that. And last but not least, inquiries. These are the four sections of your credit report that also makes up your entire credit profile. All right. So the first things first is most important is your personal information, the first section of your credit report. Now, most people are unaware how your credit profile plays a big indirect impact to your credit report as well as your credit profile. What I mean by that, first of all, your personal information section. This is the section that includes all the personal information about yourself, such as your name, your address, any previous addresses, your social security number, date of birth, also any employers or past employers that you have had employment with. Okay. So pretty much straightforward based upon what I've just shared with you. But this is where most people have the misconception as far as the significance of your personal information, because any outdated or incorrect information in this particular section plays a huge effect in the eyes of creditors and lenders, where they're wanting to go ahead and underwrite you or approve you for any type of credit they're trying to extend to you. Think about it. Some people may have different aliases or different variations of their name on their credit report, or they may have a long list of outdated addresses or addresses that they were previously associated with. Think about it, put it in perspective. Okay. If you're a creditor and you're looking at somebody's credit report and 5-6 different aliases and 10 or 12 different addresses on there, that is a sign and a red flag that may pop up, because that shows a level of instability, and also that shows a high degree of possible discrepancies throughout all of these addresses. Wow, which address this person actually resides in, which name this person actually uses, right? That also goes for variations of your social security number, date of birth, and everything. I have seen plenty of individuals credit report that has plenty of outdated addresses that they stayed at 15, 20 years ago, or addresses that was associated with somebody that they knew that's on their credit report. This is a section, guys, you definitely want to keep clean at all times. The Blueprint to Wealth event is finally here, March 28th to 29th. This is the #1 event you want to be able to catch. I'm calling all entrepreneurs, all business-minded individuals. I'm calling everybody to come and join this exclusive event to be able to learn about money mindset, how to build your business credit, how to be able to go ahead and unlock generational wealth. If you want to know how to take your business from 6 to 7 figures, check out this event exclusive here in Hollywood, Florida, March 28th and 29th. Get your tickets, as this is going to be the #1 jam-packed event where you'll be able to go ahead and meet with VIP speakers, have an exclusive VIP dinner with the speakers, and more importantly, leave with action-packed insights to be able to take your game to the next level. The rule of thumb that I share with everyone here is that you're only one person, right? So you should always at all time have one name, one address, one phone number, one employer. That's it. Okay. You definitely want to keep this section clean of any outdated or incorrect personal information, as again, this is going to go ahead and increases the risk and makes you seem as more of a riskier borrower in the eyes of the lenders and everything like that. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep your personal information section clean when it comes to your credit report. All right. That's why it's very important that you also check your credit report. So before I even continue into, I should have stated this first, make sure that you're staying on top of your credit report so you could identify and spot these inconsistencies as well too. All right. So I highly recommend checking out annualcreditreport.com, which is a website that is owned by the 3 credit reporting agencies, as well as authorized by the federal government as an authorized site to be able to go ahead and access your credit report. The only thing is you won't be able to get your scores, but you can get your credit reports absolutely free at annualcreditreport.com. Okay. But once you've gotten a copy of your credit report, once you have gotten a copy of the report, then you, of course, you want to make sure that all of the personal information section is clean. Now, if you want to know how to be able to clean the personal information section, send me a DM in the comments, or let me know in the comments, and I may go ahead and release another video on how you be able to go ahead and clean your personal information section, which is very easy, to be honest with you. You just contact 3 credit reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. Let them know that there's some personal information that you recognize on your credit report that doesn't belong there or that's not associated with you, and they should be able to go ahead and get that personal information cleaned up for you in no time. All right. So listen, persistence is the key and consistency is the key. So you got to make sure that you're staying on top of this, because again, this is going to set the stage for everything else as far as making sure that you have a pristine credit profile, what I'm going to talk about later in this video. Now that you have gotten all of the personal information on your credit report cleaned up and taken care of, the next part, of course, is the personal account section within your credit report. Now, this is where the meat and potatoes come in. Okay. First of all, your credit profile, as I mentioned, it includes a compilation of everything that I've mentioned in the 4 parts of your credit report, but mostly lenders are going to focus and emphasize on the trade lines and the accounts that's reporting on your credit naturally, right? So this includes any credit cards, loans, mortgages, or anything that you've borrowed and paid money back to. All right. More than likely, lenders want to see that you could pretty much manage credit responsibly, which means paying your bills on time, you're keeping your balances low, avoiding any too much debt. For those who are unaware, there are 5 factors that affect your credit score, which is 35% payment history, 30% utilization, 15% length of credit, 10% credit mix, and last 10% is inquiries. So it's very important to understand how these 5 factors and all of these 5 factors in combination makes up your entire credit profile. All right. So that's why it's important to understand how each of these components play an effect when it comes to building out your credit profile. So first things first, let's talk about credit utilization, which when it comes to your profile, this plays a huge part. Okay. This is where you want to keep the ratio of balances on your credit accounts below 30%. Of course, this is for any revolving accounts such as credit cards that you have. It's very important you keep it under 30%. Most people are unaware if you carry any balances over 30% individually or collectively with your credit card accounts, this is going to negatively impact your credit score and your credit profile. All right. So let me give you an example. If you have a credit card that has $1,000 limit on there, you don't want to have the balance exceed $300 when it reports to your credit report, because again, that's going to show a high utilization, not only individually for that card, but also for all of the other accounts you have on your credit report. If they're over 30%, is going to ruin your credit profile collectively as well too. So collectively and individually, you want to make sure that you're keeping your utilization below 30%. That is the key metric. Honestly, if you want to be in the top tier range in the eyes of the credit reporting agencies and creditors, you want to actually keep it at 10% or below. All right. 10% and below is really the sweet spot that you want to be in. But nevertheless, if you can, at least keeping it below 30% is a way where you're not getting dinged or you're not hurting yourself when it comes to this particular category. Okay. So it's very important that you manage this particular aspect too. Now, also a second thing when it comes to your credit profile is length of credit. Most people are unaware getting approved for too many credit cards or trade lines in a short amount of time is going to dilute your credit history. I've seen plenty of individuals, again, that may have a 700 credit score, may have limited inquiries, good payment history, but guess what? They will still get a denied for credit because they don't have sufficient enough credit history. Have you ever experienced a situation where you apply for a credit card or apply for an auto loan or a personal loan and you've gotten denied because it says insufficient credit history? This is where this category comes in at the 15%. Okay. So each time that you apply for a credit card, that dilutes the average age within this particular category. Typically, creditors want to see that you have an average credit age of at least 2 years or more. All right. So a good way, if you're starting out and you're just not fresh into the credit game, and of course you don't have that much history, see if you can piggyback off of somebody that is responsible with their credit card, maybe a friend or a family member, and ask them if they can allow you to become an authorized user on their card. Right now, typically, two things you want to keep in mind here. Number one, this person is being responsible with their credit card. And number two, that they've had the credit card with good payment history over an extended period of time, typically 5, 6, 7, even 10 years. The longer they've had the card, the longer this is going to reflect positively on your end when that trade line is now reported on your credit report, as it's going to increase the credit history on your credit report by piggybacking off of theirs. All right. So that's a good hack where you can use if you want to go ahead and earn some points in this particular category when it comes to credit history. Another very important component when it comes to making sure you have an A+ credit profile is your inquiries. Okay. Now, I've spoken about this before in a previous video, but inquiries, especially in 2025, has become a very sensitive topic for creditors when it comes to approving people for credit or whether they want to extend credit to you or not. Creditors and credit card companies, they simply don't want to approve anyone or extend credit to anyone that's been shopping around for credit or has a large amount of inquiries in a short amount of time. All right. So typically the sweet spot, you want to limit to have no more than 3 to 4 inquiries within a 12-month period. Now, inquiries do stay on your credit report for only 24 months. And the longer that they're on your credit report, the less of an impact that they have. Within a short amount of time, you definitely don't want to be racking up too many inquiries. Again, like I said in the previous video, No, banks, they look at you as thirsty as you trying to apply for credit. As ironic as it may sound, banks don't want to lend money out to people when they're actually in need of credit, or when it seems or perceives that you're trying to apply for credit. They only want to lend credit out to people when it seems like you don't need the credits, which I've never understood that, but hey, tomato, whatever. Okay. But that is also a very key metric in making sure that you have built out credit profile, that you're keeping your inquiries low. Also, your credit mix. You have to diversify your credit mix. And I feel like this is one of the most overlooked categories when it comes to building out your credit profile, right? Because it's only 10% of your credit score and it may have the least amount of impact. But again, I've witnessed plenty of people gotten denied for credit purely because they didn't exercise or maximize the opportunities in this particular category. What I mean by that, now, there are typically two types of credit mix that you could have on your credit report, which is revolving lines of credit, or installment loans or installment lines of credit. Now, revolving lines of credit are the ones that we're most accustomed to. These are your credit cards, typically, right? For the most part, these are your credit cards, your lines of credit, and everything like that. Now, when it comes to installment loans, these are more of a wider range of products, such as student loans, personal loans, auto loans, mortgages. These are called your installment loan, where basically you are giving a lump sum, or you've been extended a lump sum, or been approved for a lump sum of credit, and you're required to make equal installment payments on this particular account. So you want to diversify the mix of your credit by having a good mixture of these two. You don't want to have just all installment credit, or especially have all just revolving credit. So on top of having credit cards, because of course most people have credit cards and lines of credit on their credit report, you do want to factor in a couple of installment loans. If it's a student loan, a personal loan, auto loan, or mortgage, whatever type of installment credit you can include on your credit report, this is going to help build out your credit profile, and you get the full amount of points on this particular category when it comes to your credit profile. All right. So very important that you understand that, again, all five factors of your credit score: payment history, utilization, length of credit mix, and inquiries, all five of these factors not only makes up your credit score, but it also makes up your credit profile. So you want to make sure each and every one of these categories that you are maximizing each section. So therefore, this increase your chances of approval here. Okay. So just a quick recap what we've talked about. Again, your credit profile is extremely important, guys. And what makes up your credit profile, number one, is making sure your personal information section is absolutely clean of any outdated or incorrect information that may be indirectly hurting you. All right. Remember, you're one person, one name, one address, one phone number, one social security number, one date of birth, one employer. Anything more than that, you definitely want to go ahead and get with the credit reporting agencies and have those removed, have any of that outdated information removed off your credit report. All right. Also, making sure once you have taken care of your personal information section, now the account section. All right. Number one, payment history. All right. You want to make sure that you have 100% payment history. This is very important. That goes without saying. One late payment can drop your credit score by up to 100 points. All right. Number two, utilization. Most people are unaware that keep it below 30% individually and collectively. All right. So of course, individually, this doesn't pertain to your installment accounts. All right. Because it would be hard to make an installment account below 30% unless you're ready to, at that point of paying it off or paying it down. But this is more in regards to your revolving accounts. Okay. Your revolving accounts, you want to maintain a balance below 30%. If you can keep it at 10% before it reports to the credit reporting agency, that's great. But at least 30% before it reports to the credit reporting agency. And again, this is individually and collectively keep the balances below 30%. So therefore, you're at a sweet spot when it comes to this category. Number three, your length of credit. Creditors want to see you have at least 2 years. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, 4 years or more is actually better. But again, if you're unable to get any accounts, or if you just now starting out, getting with a responsible party or a friend or family member who has a long history with a credit account is a good way to be able to build up credit history. Another way to avoid of diluting your credit history in this category is avoid applying for too many credit cards or getting approved for credit cards in a short amount of time, because that's going to dilute the credit history. Make sure before you apply for any credit cards that, it serves your purpose. There's a strategy that you're strategically applying for these cards. So number one, is it serving any purpose on your lifestyle? Is it giving you the reward points that you need? Is it being able to go ahead and fulfill everything that you need? Because again, when you apply for that card and you have a long history runway, do realize once you get approved for it and it gets placed on your credit report, it is going to drop your history. And again, that can be a reason why you can get denied for credit as well. All right. Also, last but not least, inquiries and credit mix. These are two separate categories. Limit your inquiries to no more than 3 per a 12-month period. And also the credit mix, make sure that your credit mix, that you have a very diverse range of credit on your credit mix. So therefore that could go ahead and allow you to get the maximum amount of points on this category as well too. All right. But building the right profile, to believe it or not, guys, it's all about consistency, responsibility, and patience. It's all about patience. Again, it's not about your credit score. I'm going to say this again. It's not about your credit score. So just because you may have a 700 plus credit score, listen, if your profile doesn't match the score, believe it or not, you still can get denied for credit. But credit is having a good credit profile or having a good credit score is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not part of a get rich quick scheme. So it's something that you have to stick to the blueprint, maintain it, and follow the steps to be able to go ahead and put yourself in position to be able to go ahead and leverage your credit, build your credit to be able to go ahead and unlock financial freedom, start your business, do what you want to do. All right. So that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, if you've gotten great value out of this video, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and drop a comment in below. Hit the subscribe button. That's the only thing we actually return. We do this video to be able to educate the masses and educate individuals on financial literacy. This is something that me and my team are very passionate about, to educate individuals and helping them to be able to go ahead and leverage their credit, especially in this digital age of 2025 and beyond, right? Information is power, but actually the application of it. So taking in the information and you guys being able to execute it is what we're trying to espouse, what we're trying to encourage, what we're trying to empower individuals with, to be able to go ahead and take themselves to the next level and help their families out and enjoy life the way they want to. Thanks for joining in. Hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date whenever we drop videos like this. Drop a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Also, check out the Blueprint to Wealth event coming March 28th and 29th here in Hollywood, Florida. This is the dopest event that you definitely want to be part of and catch, as we are going to share with you secrets on not only how to build your personal credit and your business credit, but also we're going to have money mindset as well as strategies on how you can build generational wealth for yourself. But thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tuning in. And we're going to catch you on the flip side. Take care. Peace.
Blueprint, yeah. Blueprint. This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it, cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement. Yep, 𝗥𝗲𝗹 with Blueprint. This guests are exclusive. Get on and tune in and then learn some new tips about credit, finance, investment. A nice chance to get rich and buy land. Flip it, quick 9 bands. Learn all the skills from Wes, he did it. Learn how to build successful business. Run up a mill and get the digits. Run up a mill. Look, safe place where guests are speaking. Based off financial freedom. All facts, no cap, believe it. Podcast, you have to see it.